Well, with all the audio part corrected in this Westinghouse player, it's time to turn our sights towards the turntable. Took the platter off the other night, and there should be some grease of some sort in there. There is little to none. Rubber's still in good shape on the platter side to hold the records. Records set on it, still in good shape. Pretty clean. Here's the rest of the victim. I was watching a video on YouTube published by a fellow named Old Goat 64, and he showed how basic maintenance on a turntable will save you a lot of time and effort. This one had probably never been maintenance since it was new from the factory. This rubber pulley here, I shouldn't say pulley, it's the idler wheel, should be somewhat soft and pliable. This one's soft back on the edge here, but out at the very edge where it contacts the platter, it's pretty hard. And I've read a couple things. You can still push on it. It still gives a little, so it's not completely petrified. I was reading online how to revitalize some of this stuff. There's different chemicals and sprays you can use that'll kind of clean it up and soften it up a little bit. Or you can go to voiceofmusic.com and pay $25 to have a brand new idler pulley dropped off at your door. The only thing is, you guys send this one in for them to send you your new one. So they probably refurbish this old one and send it back out again, truth be known. Got the tone arm off it right now, just for the purpose of flipping it up and down, back and forth. I didn't want to damage nothing, and I had to take this whole mechanism out of here too. There was 2 screws on top of the machine on the unit, and 1 here in the back, and this whole unit will pull up out of here. Cosmetically, you might still see some old grease and stuff right here. I haven't cleaned the front side very thoroughly yet because this is the easy part to get to. This back up in here was the pain in the ass part to get to. So for the most part, that's been taken apart, cleaned internally. I need to do some surface cleaning of the changer pin here in the center spindle, and then thoroughly examine and relubricate the motor, which we have a lot of noise in that motor, and I'm suspecting that I oiled the bottom bearing in this about a month ago and it ran better, but I'm suspecting that this top bearing, let me get you some light here, this top bearing right down in there is what's causing the noise and stuff, because it is just dry as hell down in there. So we'll get that oiled up. We need to pull this spindle off and oil the shaft and clean it real good anyway. But something neat about this tone arm that even my mother and father-in-law didn't know, and they owned this player for 30 years at least, is that this had an static flip-over 7845 LP cartridge in it. And when I took the unit apart, took the cabinet apart and pulled the mech and the audio part out of there, I found this in the bottom of the changer cabinet, and it's actually the thing that goes on the end of the needle to flip it over. And I kept looking at that and thinking, well, that should change somehow, and it was stuck, it wouldn't change. So after some tinkering with it the other night, I found that if I put a screwdriver through there, see if I can do this without dropping the camera, I'll show you. That this thing will actually flip over, and on the back side is a brand new LP cartridge that has, or a needle that has never been used. The blue paint's still on from the factory, the blue is still on the diamond tip. It had never been used. Everything with this player had been played on the 78 sapphire side. And I put a new diamond on this thinking I was replacing the only needle on the cartridge, and lo and behold, it has a brand new one on the back side. So this will get cleaned and thoroughly repositioned and put back where it belongs. There was a couple cork gaskets right here that go on either side of this, back up in here, and those fell out because the glue was dried. But this is an static 120 cartridge. It's upside down, but that says a static right there in 120. And from research online, this is a crystal cartridge, and I'm really surprised that it hadn't dried up and blown away by now, because about everything I have that had a crystal cartridge in it has one, quit working, or two, works so poor that you can barely get any good sounding quality audio out of the unit. This one still works good. So there ain't a whole lot to fix on the tone arm. It just needs put back on, and all of my components laying here that go with that. So that's what's going on right now with this unit. It's partially cleaned, it needs relubed and put back together, and the next video I post after I put this back together and clean the cabinet should be of the final unit playing. Thanks for watching.